So guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see by the title today, we've brought the Series 1 RS Turbo down in the middle of December to see what it's running. I've always been intrigued to see what sort of power is still left in this 1985 Series 1 RS Turbo that I bought, nearly a few years ago now. I do have a dyno printout of around, I think it was 150, 148-ish brake horsepower, but that was in 2008, before this car had multiple things done to it and of course more mileage put on it. So I'm really again intrigued to see what this car is still running. I will be happy with, you know, the standard 120 to 130 brake horsepower that these Series 1s came out of the factory with, but we'll see. It might be pushing more than that. The boost is quite high in the gear at the moment. That's the only thing that might show on the graph on the dyno more than anything at the moment, so we are going to look at that. But mainly today is just to see how much power this thing is running, and then down the line we might tune it, we might change it. I do really like the drivability of this car at the moment, but it's always been a mystery as to what it's actually running right now. And it's cold. It's got a full tank of super unleaded, so we're going to jump into the garage. Again, massive thank you to the guys at the garage for actually letting me come down, film and actually see what this car is running. But we'll get in there. Car's warm, it's on the dyno. Let's see what she's running. So just stepping out, it's a little bit quieter out here. I've just jotted down everything. So the dyno, as you've just seen, the first run, I want to say the dyno is a Bosch LPS 002 dyno running sport design software. Now, I wanted to say that now just because there's a couple of people on here that may be interested in what dyno this is actually running on. The first run, as I've got the notes on me, run one, it was a soft run just to make sure everything was right, the car was running right and the dyno was running right, and it ran 127 brake horsepower, 184 Newton meters of torque. That's actually not that bad. I'm considering that's about what it is from the factory, 120 to 125 brake horsepower in 1985. That's the sort of ballpark they were working with these cars. It's run that on a soft run, so I'm actually quite intrigued to see what it runs now, full power. Hopefully we get more than the desired 148 that I've already got in my little booklet at home when I bought this car, so we'll see. Okay, so run two. So it ran 158 brake horsepower at 211 Newton meters of torque. That's like, it's 10 horsepower more than my original thoughts of it should still be sort of running the same sort of power. I do believe that it's had a different intercooler since that dyno graph that I physically have in my possession when I bought the car, and I think the boost might be a little bit more fruity than when it was in 2008. And it's a colder day, so it's a genuinely cold day today, so we're working with pretty good temperatures on the car. So let's go for round 3 or run 3, see what she runs. Okay, so, right, just done 2 more runs. and I will go back in and show you the graph in a minute. 166 brake horsepower, 228 newton meters of torque, and 167 brake horsepower at 235 newton meters of torque. So, you know, we're ballpark 160 brake horsepower in the Series 1. I think that's not a bad shout, but let's go back in, have a look at the graph. So, bringing up the logs, it has just ran on its 4th run 167, guys, you just see that, 167 brake horsepower and 235 newton meters of torque. That's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. The curve is, of course, a little bit out. You've got dyno guys will know it's a little bit out because of the boost, but I am genuinely impressed with that number. Showing you guys what we've just run on the last 4 runs. As you can see, the peak power at the moment is 168 brake horsepower, and we just reach 237, which is a massive shout. As you can see from the graph as well, really consistent. That's why I wanted to go back and do a couple more runs just to make sure we were in the right ballpark for the Series 1. And as you can see, guys, we are back home. It's actually just started raining, so obviously it's a classic car. It's going to dissolve. I need to put it in the garage. Only joking, but I don't mind this thing getting wet. That's part of the fun of classic car ownership, is getting it wet sometimes in December. It's just how it is. But make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'm so impressed with this car today. It is literally blown me away. I fell in love with this thing again. I always do every time I drive it. Yeah, good car. Really happy with the power figures. Again, thank you to the guys at the garage. If you are white based, take your car down there, get a dyno, and see what your car's running. So thank you so much for watching, guys. See you on the next one.